Says
the
we're live.
email. Let's
I
go.
did.
Come on now. I got it too, but we're still not up. Twitch has been having twitchy problems.
Twitchy twitch.
Come on, Twitch.
That shows we're up on my end.
You're up. Are you up? Are you seeing it? Is it
I
there?
am.
I don't see it yet, but that could just be me. Let's see. Look at that! It works!
And we're teasing Wicked Kitten.
It works! Look! It works.
It's a thing that works. We're here.
Hello! We're here. Now it works. There's been
Hello.
weird stuff that's been happening with the Twitch, and so we just had to make sure.
Oh my,
Hello.
oh my God. I had a couple of errors last night when I was working on my Twitch channel
Yeah.
because for some reason I couldn't get Triple T's to work. So I just went on my own because I was just playing around on this overlay on my Overwatch overlay.
Your Overwatch overlay.
Overwatch overlay. And I didn't want to bug everybody that tunes into Triple T just because I was just messing around on the game. So I just did it there and it works. So I'm happy with it. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Yeah, you're
Beautiful.
beautiful. You're beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. There we go.
There it goes. There it goes. There we are. Hello, chat room. How are you?
Good evening.
We're returning after a 2-week hiatus for Easter. And now we are here.
Ding. Rats.
Grats. Okay, let me make sure soundboard works for you. It should, because I fixed it. But let's make sure that it works. Okay.
Yep.
Because it
I heard
wasn't
him.
working the other day. And I couldn't find out how and what until I got Kalani on the line. And then I'm going to have to tell you a story during the show.
Ah, so this is the story.
Yeah.
Ah.
That is the story. And it's quite the amusement. So it is quite the amusement. Poor Kalani. And we are the live tweet, twitch.tv/Tauren. Think. Boom.
Awkward waving.
Awkward waving. Hello,
How do you-
wicked kitten.
Is it kind of like a hi? Is it like, oh gosh, there's Kelly. I didn't want to talk to her today. Oh, is she coming up? I can't. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. How are the kids?
How are you?
Uh-huh. All right, I got it. Okay. Oh, my phone's vibrating. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hello? Yeah. It's my boss. I've got to go. It's good to see you. Talk to you later.
So, okay, I have to ask this of Solomio and Wicked Kitten because they're from New Jersey and they will get this.
Uh-oh.
When you are with your family or people who are super close, like super close family friends, like family, do you kiss each other on the mouth? Because that's what happens, and I forget about it every time I go home. And everybody's just like, hi, you're here. I didn't expect that you would be here. Mwah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they kissed me on the face, like on the lips. That's right.
So,
You forget when you don't live there. And it's just, and everybody's just like, mwah.
yeah, that's not a thing down here either. At all.
I forget. I mean, I forget that it's a thing. And, I'm sorry, but sometimes there are certain people I'm like, I don't want to kiss you. I love you, but I don't want to kiss you.
Just saying.
My grandmother is a different story. Like grandma, it's grandma. So, you know, so you walk up to and you go, mwah, to grandma. On her lips, because that's grandma. But it's not. It's a Jersey thing. I swear. So
I have never encountered that.
Oh, wait till you go to New Jersey and meet my family.
I'm gonna pretend like I have the flu and have like a little face mask on.
Right? You're in Korea.
good today. It's
Bull-
good to meet you. No, I'm not contagious. 'Cause I'm a hugger, so I hug.
I know.
But then it doesn't really go farther than that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my family, but just it's different.
I have
Oh,
seen like the whole kiss on the cheek thing like that, but
yeah.
not the lips thing.
Yeah, and that's most likely going to happen for most people that, it's yeah. Sorry guys, I know Twitch is having problems today. It's not us. We're not dropping frames or anything. It's just
Nope.
Twitch. So, yeah. Oh, so now you're going to
Especially if
get in your
Uncle,
spot, you little bugger.
yeah, especially if Uncle Joe smokes or something like that.
Oh,
Then
I
it's just,
know.
oh,
Uncle Joe can suck it as far as I'm concerned. Lori.
never the lips.
No, not the lips. Oh, that's too funny.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
Twitch is very twitchy. You guys are so funny.
I
I
see you've
miss
met
the
my
chat
Uncle
room.
Joe.
Creepy Uncle Joe, yeah.
Jules, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in years.
Nice smoker voice.
Come here. Come here and give your Uncle Joe a hug. I haven't seen you so long. Welcome. Happy Easter.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Strangers are creepy. Yes, they are. Strangers are very creepy.
Even worse if
Uh,
it's a creepy stranger trying to kiss you.
yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. But it is what it is. My father's
Who are
probably
you and
texting me
why are
right
you
now.
kissing?
My phone is across the room if you're trying to text me, Dad. I'm not, my phone is not around here.
I can't see it.
Nope. I put it on the other room for a reason. On the other side of the room. So
Yeah.
nobody can get me while I'm doing the show.
Mm.
Oh, yes. I know. We're both like,
Yeah.
tired.
I was up way too late and then didn't sleep well and then slept till almost noon today.
Ooh.
So it was about 11 o'clock that the blankets got ripped off of over me, and I was told to get up, so I got up.
So, are you a teenager? I mean,
I
I
guess.
wouldn't be able to sleep until noon unless I forced myself to do it because I was sick, because these
Yeah.
two little boogers would not let me do that.
Well, it was one of those things where I went to bed about, gosh, like 2:30 or 3, something like that, and then slept for about 2 hours, and then got back up, and because I couldn't sleep, was up for about another hour, hour and a half, and then went back to bed,
Yeah.
and then slept like 5 hours after that, and was told
Nice.
to get up.
Well, it's, yeah.
Gosh, Wicked, that never happens to me in restaurant bars. Guys just don't walk up and start kissing me. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong or you're doing right, but
It's your height. Like, no dude is going to walk up to a tall guy and be like, hey, baby, mwah.
because it's
And
even worse if they have to get on their tiptoes. It's another incentive not to try and kiss me.
it's 30 seconds, or no, not even. It's like 30 milliseconds more opportunity for you to slug the guy for coming into your
Yeah.
face. Oh, my
Oh,
mom.
oh,
Hi,
there's your
mama.
mom.
It does. No, mom, it's cat ears. It's cat ears. Mom figured out how to type in Twitch chat. Yes. Good job,
Awesome.
mama. Yeah, I should. Do you like them? Should I take the thing off? Should I take this off?
I don't
I
know.
can take it off. It does make me look like I have cat ears or horns, though.
And nothing wrong with cat ears, though.
Meow. uh, thank you. This is my present. I'll talk about my present. It's very, very cool.
It's a very, very early birthday present.
Like totally early. Like my birthday is in July, but
Yeah.
oh, that's too funny. So you heard that we did the test of the soundboard. Where's my soundboard?
Mm-hmm.
It's my soundboard. Wow, my Twitch is really lagging. I mean, probably because it just spun out a couple times. So I'm just gonna refresh it. Refresh.
Refreshing.
Refreshing. All right, soundboard. There it is.
But I was gonna bring like a pizza. We're gonna sit and have pizza.
Sweet. Okay.
Yep.
Marconin's mouth was not
That's
moving
actually-
and his voice was there, so that's good.
That's actually what I had for dinner was pizza.
Papa Jules says you grunt, but you can't hide it. Yeah, so now he can't text me, so Mom's going to talk to me in the chat room.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. The headphones that have the cat ears on them, it's kind of like this.
Yeah.
See?
They just need to light up whenever you talk or something.
Oh, right?
Little cat ears.
It's so irritating. Are you kidding? All right. Well, we're set here. We tested the soundboard. Marconin, are you about ready to start?
I think so. I'm going to go ahead and kill the fan.
Okay.
It is a bit warm in here.
Ditams, do I remember right? You're a fan of pinball. Absolutely. Huge
Yep,
pinball
she
fan.
is.
Yes. Chat room is ready. Oh, chat room. Are you guys ready? Wait. Let me do this over. Chat room. Are you guys ready?
And now we wait.
Listening. I'm listening. Ah, there they go.
There we go.
Twitch lag. Look
It's
at
real.
you. Yay. Press 1 for summons. Yes. They're all ready to go. Where's my show notes? Show notes. There's my show notes. And today is the 3rd, right? Yes, it's the 3rd.
Yep.
Cool. Then we're ready to go. We're ready to go. In 3,
You ready?
2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
It's episode 182 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Sunday, April 3rd of 2016. It is 8:09 in the PM in the Central Standard Time. My name is Jules, and we're back again after an Easter break to end all Easter breaks. Well, not really, but we weren't here, and now we're back. And with me, as always, is my good friend and man about town. It's Marconin.
Hey there, Jules. Man about town. I don't even know what that means exactly. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're a man. You live in a town.
Man
You get around
about
town.
I was a little bit about town today. I did have to go run some errands, so I was out and about town.
I know. My gosh. We have like the longest list of things to talk about from the last 2 weeks because it seemed like everything happened in a 2-week time span for at least for Marconin and a lot of stuff.
When it
for me,
rains,
too.
it pours.
It rains, it pours.
Yeah.
So let's just cut right to it. What has been going on since we last done a show?
I'm getting fired.
I'm not cheering for this.
Neither is about 1,200 people in my company that are getting let go, too.
I didn't even know it was that many. 1,200?
At least, because we have over 1,000 stores, and there's about one person per store, plus their managers, the managers above that. This goes all the way almost to the top.
Wow.
They're eliminating my entire division of our company and giving that labor elsewhere, or giving our responsibilities to other people in the company.
Yeah.
And so my last day will be my first day of unemployment, unless I find a job with the company elsewhere, is May 1st. So I've got a month to find something, either in the company or outside of the company. So found that out Wednesday before Easter.
Yep.
And well, I mean, the good news is I've already had an interview which is for what equates to my position, because they're pretty much letting me go and rehiring me in a different capacity if I want it for potentially lower pay, which is how they save money. That's how companies save money, is they get rid of people with experience, bring in new people, and then waste money training them, and then it messes up again anyway.
Yeah.
So they are going to, I had an interview yesterday. It's one of the local stores that I've been to, and I know everybody in the store.
That's good.
And I like to think I'm a pretty nice guy to interact with and to work with. And so they all had, it was a very, very nice interview. And I have another interview on Thursday with them, and then hopefully they'll send an offer in. And I want to keep the company because I want to stay. I would like to stay here because I've been with the company 6.5 years.
Yeah.
And so, my health insurance for my family is there. I have a 401k with them. I've got like tons of vacation time that I can't take with me if I leave.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons for me to stay. That and the whole paying bills and putting food in your mouth thing. So, but I am looking elsewhere as well. I'm keeping my options open because I don't like change. I hate change.
Yeah.
Just on the whole, I like things to be stable, and when they change, I get upset and I don't like it. And so right now I am very not liking everything for multiple reasons that I'll get into in a minute. But this has been helpful in me branching out and trying to, I'm not using that expensive piece of paper that I spent a good number of years of my life earning, and I'm trying to find a position that will at least honor that commitment of, going through the whole college thing and arriving on the other side and victorious with the piece of parchment.
Yeah.
So it's really been affecting me a lot. Every day it sucks. I haven't been let go in a job like this since I worked in the arcades, and the reason why I got let go is because the mall that the arcade was in was closing.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the owners came in and they said, "Hey, today's your last day. You let go." And I was like, "Okay, well, me being me, I was like, do you mind if I help you guys move the arcades into the trailer tomorrow since you're cleaning the house?" And they're like, "You want to?" I was like, "Yeah." So they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll pay you. Come on back in." They didn't expect me to come in and wheel away my job, but I liked them. It was a small mom and pop company.
Yeah.
So I really liked them. But it's one of those things where a whole new chapter is beginning, and I was okay with the chapter the way it was, but I think I'll end up better on the other side of this, even as stressful as it has been for me. And it's nothing that I did. It's nothing that anybody else in our division of the company did. It's just they're like, well, where can we save some money?
It's a business decision.
It's a business decision. And I did, they are taking care of us, because if we don't, there's that whole severance thing that we can explore. They're not just kicking us to the curb, with nothing. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, that sucked. That was last Wednesday before Easter. And then the day before Easter, woke up from a nap from my mom telling me to call her because she told me it's about Harley. And Harley is my cat that I got in college, about 13 and a half years old. When I moved apartments and I got into a situation where I couldn't keep him for the time being. And so he went to stay with my mom. And he's been there ever since, because my mom's house is like my house. It's a cat place. It's one of our in-laws has said that if reincarnation is real, then they want to be reincarnated as a cat at my mom's house, because it's like the place to be if you're a cat, because we love them. We're crazy cat people, which I know you agree with me there, Jules.
Yep.
Well, anyway, Harley hadn't been doing very well for the last 6-8 months. He'd been losing weight. He was on heart medication. And I say is because Saturday was the day that we had to say goodbye. And I woke up from my nap, and then my mom was like, "You need to be here in like 2.5 hours. And it takes 2 hours to get there." So, got up there because the vet closed at a certain time. We found the one vet that stayed open on Saturdays until like 5 o'clock. So I went up there, and he was hanging out on the kitchen floor and just walking around. And I sat down next to him, and I started to sit up, and I was like, "Well, you ready to go, buddy?" And he stood up, and he walked over, and he sat in my lap, and he started nuzzling against me.
Oh,
and
that'll just break your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we went up to the vet, and this place it's up in Jonesboro. That's where I went to college, and that's where we had to take Tinkerbell last year to say goodbye to her, is because they're the only ones open. And they will give the animals kind of a like a sedative a little bit to relax, a relaxer,
Yeah.
so that the transition is easier on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went there, and we said goodbye, and it was really hard.
Yeah.
And
It's never, ever, ever easier. Doesn't matter how many times it's happened, how many times you've had to do it. It breaks your
Yeah.
heart.
yeah, and he was my guy. He was my buddy. When I lived in a torn down single wide trailer with no heat, he slept under the blankets with me and kept me warm. And he was my college roommate, and he was the sweetest, biggest, gentle giant of a cat I've ever seen.
He's a beautiful cat.
And so after that, and I held him the whole way up. It takes about less than an hour to get up there. And I held him and petted him, and then we brought him home to my mom's house, and we laid him to rest right next to the other two cats that are in the yard. And then I got in the car and drove back down.
Yeah.
It was a rough day, a rough few days.
It's been, for you, it has probably been some of the toughest days in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart breaks for you. But I gotta say, and being a cat lover and owner, we have to try to get past the memory of the passing and remembering, and because I think that was the hardest thing for me, was to try to get past the memory of that and to hold on to the good memories of the life, and but it's a grieving process that I think some don't understand, and it's okay. For all of our pet owners out there who have the experiences that you have had. I know that a lot of people are giving you hugs right now. The chat room is filling with hearts right now for you.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing new to me, because we've had cats all of my life, and we've lost them along the way. But it never gets any easier. I mean, the dude was, if you think about 13, 14 years old, that's junior high. That's like having family member in junior high pass away suddenly, or and I have a lot of really good memories of him. I was I was looking through some pictures on my computer, and the scene in E.T. where they open the closet door, and there's all those stuffed animals, and E.T. is kind of like one of the heads.
Yep.
Stuck in. There's a picture of a box of stuffed animals that my sister took, and Harley's head is poking out. He's like one of the stuffed animals. It was the cutest thing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, another thing that I'm probably going to get, it's probably going to upset me, but in a kind of good way, is that they offered, when they were talking to us at the vet, they offered to get a paw print of him and have it etched with his name and the date and send it to us for free.
Oh,
So we're going to get that. My mom's going to get it in the mail, and
that's great.
then we'll just go from there with that. But, I still have my two girls here, and they've been getting a lot of extra love lately.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And even my mom, they've had him there every day for the last several years, so it's hitting her and my sister really hard, and my nephew too. My nephew is there with us, and oh man, when I was sorry to keep droning on about it, but when we were walking in, I was carrying him into the vet, and my nephew, he's 9.5, he reached up and started petting him, and I don't know if I get through it. He told him to take good care of Tinkerbell and all the other cats that we've had, and I about lost it.
Oh my gosh.
It
Wow.
was, like, I almost had to sit down,
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
And but yeah, it was the first time he's ever gone through something like this, and we're all hugging each other and everything, because they're our family. They're very very strong part of our lives for us.
Yep.
And honestly, I haven't had much time to grieve since it happened. This is the most time I've had to grieve about it since it happened.
This is
so sorry to do this.
There's no better
in front of you
place
guys,
than
but-
here, my friend.
No, I know.
We're a community
I know.
and we're here for each other. And,
I
you
know.
know, and it's okay. It's okay. I know that there are so many of us who can relate exactly to what you're feeling. And if I could, I would have given you a massive hug right now.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys out there understanding and knowing how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they are a family.
Yeah. And it's been a really stressful couple weeks for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really has. Well, but we can move on from here.
Okay.
We can move on and move forward because, there are other jobs, and my memories of him will stay with me far longer than he was able to stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'll hold on to.
Absolutely.
Don't know how to segue, but I finally got that fishing mount from Nat Pagel.
Mm-hmm. How long
Crimson-
did that take you?
Well, it took me a few hours on Monday and Tuesday after our last show because I was close.
Yeah.
But I finally got to Exalted with him and got the Crimson Water Strider. So another mount to the collection. First one in like a couple of months. So yeah, so I got that, and also I was on Azeroth Roundtable this past Friday night.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was there with Ben and John, and we talked. There was no show notes. Like, we don't know what we're talking about going into it, and so we started talking offhandedly about Batman versus Superman, which I've seen twice, and I enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
John does not like the idea of the movie, and so we started talking about that. And then we just kept talking about movies. We talked about the Warcraft movie and how the marketing team just does not understand what the heck the Warcraft universe is and is just doing awful things for the movie and hopefully doesn't cost it too much in box office revenue.
Yeah.
We were kind of negative Nancy's there for a bit on it, but it's because we care that we are expressing our concerns with it. And then we just started talking about movies pretty much the entire time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
That's
we had a
great.
great time. It's up on the download. If you guys want to check out Azeroth Roundtable, just look it up on iTunes or Stitcher, or just look them up, Google them. They're on Twitter. My good friends Ben and John. It's a good time. And then also, I rated. We as in Cat on Fire rated this past week,
Uh-huh.
and we got Heroic Manaroth down real quick.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to Archimond, and we started going, and I think we got him to like 30-something%. Like we did
cruising.
really well. Yeah, we were breezing right through. For the first like 2/3 of the night, every pull was progressively farther and farther and farther. And then, we had some mistakes as we're going through and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And the fight, we were going good. When we were closing it out for the night, we were talking about bringing in some mythic geared people to help us out. Mechanics wise, we're great. We know the mechanics, we're executing. We just need a little bit of extra DPS push.
Yeah.
And so we decided as a group that it would be okay if we brought in some ringers, because a kill is a kill is a kill. That's what I said. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow night, Cat on Fire will finish Heroic Hellfire Citadel.
Ding.
That's what I'm hoping.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great. People get their mooses, and we'll finally close the book on Heroic Hellfire Citadel and
Awesome.
finish the expansion strong.
Uh-huh.
And it's always great to do that with guildies. I already have my moose because someone was selling it for pretty cheap, and I was like, heck yeah, I need the mount because I don't want to take a chance on not getting it later.
Yeah.
But to be able to help everybody get through the rest of the guild, or rest of our team and everything, it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time with people that are awesome. So I'll go ahead and stop talking because I've been talking for a very long time. So Jules, how have you been? How was Jersey?
Jersey was great. We were not here last week because it was Easter on Sunday, and I was visiting my family in New Jersey, which was fantastic. We had a really, really great time. It was just super nice to be able to just kind of shut down a little bit and just I didn't work on anything. I was off from my work, all of my jobs I was off from, and it was just really, really, really nice. I went shopping with my mom, got some nice, updated wardrobe pieces, which was great. It was
Nice.
yeah. So really, really fun. I got to see my extended family on Easter, which a lot of them didn't know I was coming. So, that was kind of cool. They were like, what are you doing here? So that was really cool. So it was a good, really nice break, nice time off. And then I got back and went right back to work. So it was like, so all of this week has been insanity because I've just been like, I got in the door and, taking care of the cats and make sure they're doing fine. But I had no groceries. I had no laundry done. And I'm like, I gotta figure this out. So all week was kind of like that, right?
Oh yeah.
And in the meantime, I was trying to get some other things done. Like we're working on stuff for the Minnesota meetup for the movie. People want to stay at the same hotel.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And so we've been what I thought was going to be an easy task, which was to try to contact hotels and talk about group rates and blocks and that kind of thing. No problem, right? Let's just see how many rooms we need and how many people we need to find rooms for. And okay, it is the hardest thing to do because nobody calls you back ever.
You would think the possibility of having a butt ton of rooms guaranteed during the summer would be a good thing to have locked down.
Well, what I didn't know and what I have understood now is that this happens to be like a primo weekend for family reunions, weddings, and graduations. And so there are a ton of people that are doing kind of the similar kind of thing that I am, calling these group coordinators and leaving messages. And then the people have to get them, call them back. And I just let them know how many rooms I want. And this is what I'm looking for. And I have to wait like 2 days for them to call me back and say, I'm sorry, we don't have enough rooms for you. So that has been my bane for the last few weeks. I finally found a place this week that says we have enough rooms. This is the front desk coordinator. It's like, I can see that we have enough rooms, but you're going to have to wait to talk to the group coordinator. Well, she says she's just really busy, so you're just going to have to wait. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's so frustrating.
What if I just come up there? I will drive in and talk to her face to face.
Right.
It's like, can I do that?
Some of them are like, you can only respond to them through email. So you've got to send them an email. Wait for them to go. It's so frustrating. So I've been doing all of that this week, and I finally found I found a place that has enough rooms. They just have to call me back and tell me what the rate is. So there's that. So, okay. The other big thing for this week. I haven't talked a lot about I Remembered It Better, the show that I also do with Cliff and Ryan about geek culture. The show was kind of on a bit of a hiatus because Cliff was moving. Mm-hmm. And so I have been waiting to share this for a while, but we did finally do a show on Thursday, and it is my last show on the podcast. And it was my decision, and there's no issues, nothing wrong there. It's just, it's time for me to move on. I have a lot of things that I'm trying to work into my schedule, and it's been difficult for me to find the time to do it. And so it was like something has to give. So I recorded my last episode of I Remembered It Better on Thursday. I want to wish Ryan and Cliff all the best. It's been a great run.
I really enjoy that show too.
It's a lot of fun. It's still going to continue. They're going to work on replacing me with someone else and doing a bunch of guest spots in the meantime. But I have to tell you a story from this Thursday, because this Marconin has not heard this story. I've held this back
not.
until the show. Our intro is going forever long, and that's fine. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah, well, it's our show.
It's our show. We can do that. So I had a problem with the soundboard playing through to Skype. It wasn't going through to Skype, and I hear it. I hear it on my end. I know it's working. It's just not triggering in Skype. And so we get off of the podcast, say goodbye to the guys, and I'm thinking. So I send Kalani a message, who is my Uber tech guru god. And he's just there. He responds back. And he's like, yeah, try this. We were just kind of texting back and forth, and nothing that I tried works. So he said, well, can you get on Skype? And I'm like, sure. So we get on Skype, and we spend this time trying to diagnose the problem for about 10 minutes, going through all this stuff. Can't find it. And then we go back, check the wires. Well, it was an unplugged wire. Garrus must have unplugged something and knock that out. Great. We got it working. Sit down, talking. And so I asked Kalani a couple personal things because, stuff was going on with him. I said, how are you doing? He starts talking a little bit, and then all of a sudden he pauses and he goes, I just got a message from Spencer, our friend Spencer. He said, Jules is still streaming? And I went, what? And I looked, and I never turned the stream off. I remembered it better. A streamer's worst nightmare, by the way. Because you don't know what you did while you were sitting there just kind of goofing off.
Yeah.
Was I picking my nose?
Exactly.
Scratching my butt. I felt so bad.
Oh, man.
I was so glad Spencer said something, because the problem was we were streaming. I remembered it better, and nobody was in the chat room. So we stopped corresponding with the chat room. We stopped doing the thing where you just like, hey, have a good night, chat room, click off, done, right? So I never went through those steps to sign us off. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Don't ever do that, guys, by the way. If you're ever streaming, make sure you always turn your stream off.
Yeah. Cut the mic. Cut the camera. Fade to black.
Yes. So Kalani was an amazing sport. He didn't say anything that was like, embarrassing, but I felt so bad.
It happens to all of us that do any kind of broadcasting. I've got stories from radio days too. So stuff happens. It happens.
It really does. Okay, so real quick, just a couple of things. Well Played Minneapolis movie meetup is coming up on June 11th. And if you are interested in coming to hang out with us and over 100 other people, you can go to wellplayedparty.com, click the links for the Eventbrite. We have all of that stuff in there. The best thing too, we just got a link for discounted tickets at the Valley Fair Amusement Park, which we're going to be going to after the movie. So we get discounted tickets as well, so you can do all that stuff. It's pretty cool. Wellplayedparty.com. And finally, you want to hang out in our Discord, you can hang out in our Discord, which is tinyurl.com. Why do I have the hiccups? tinyurl.com/TTT-chat2. Okay. Whew. That's our intro. Now we can do a show with our discussion topic. Let's go.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
All right, this discussion topic comes from a member of our audience who sent us a wonderful email. By the way, you guys just hit us with a bunch of emails while we were away. Thank you so much. We're going to try and get to all of them. So thank you guys so much for sending those in, and we appreciate them. But don't stop sending stuff to us. Don't stop believing. Okay, let's go. First one of the night. Good morning, Triple T. I guess it was sent in the morning. So I have a question about how to talk to your work about a major issue. I've been working in call centers for most of my working career. Every center I enter, I encounter you start at 8. You need to be here logged in and on the phone exactly at 8. Then the workers talking about unpaid time, issues, and employers fighting back saying they don't need to pay you for that time. However, this is wage theft and a violation of the law. I've tried talking to the union. I've tried mentioning this to the employer, and their response is, well, this is normal across the state. It can't be wrong. You are wrong. You just don't understand the law. I feel very frustrated. I work for the very agency that's supposed to support workers' rights, and they are violating them. My union isn't even listening to me because they've said they've already looked into this, and it didn't get them anywhere. From Katie Derry.
All right.
So this is a question. Now, there's stuff to unpack here too.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like Katie works for a place that protects workers' rights at a call center. And, I was a supervisor in a call center for 9 years. I know this life,
Yeah.
because it's tracking time, and they have very specific, when you're an hourly worker like that situation, it's, if you're scheduled at 8:00, we've scheduled you guys to the minute to be sure that our call volume is covered based on how many people are logged in at a certain period of time. So, so there's that part of it. And then, I guess she's saying that other people are saying that there's unpaid time, and employers saying they don't need to pay you for that time if you're logged in at that specific time. And I think she might be talking about like the time between you punching the clock and then getting on the phone.
Maybe. I was wondering how that works because I've never worked in a call center and don't know quite how it works. But I know it at my job, we've always been told if you're on time, you're late.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're early, you're on time, just to make sure that because if you're there, if you walk in the door right at 8, but it takes you 5 or 10 minutes to do that, then you're wasting company time.
Yeah.
And so they want you to be there a little early, but at my job, they will pay you to be there a little bit early because you just clock in and they're like, okay, X number of minutes beforehand, they kind of account for that. But also this is a union thing, and I have no experience at all with unions, so I don't know how that works.
Unions have very, very specific rules. They always do. And so my experience with the call center I worked in is that you could punch in on the time clock 7 minutes before your shift started. And that 7 minutes leading up to that, so if like 7:53 to 8:00 is not considered paid time until it hits 8:00. Because that's your time prepping, physically moving from the time clock to your station to prepare your workstation, to get logged in, to, get your phone set up. And then as soon as 8:00 rolled around, then your time started. That's how
you're on.
So I'm wondering if that's what she's talking about. Like that 7 minutes in there that you're working is not actually being paid.
Yeah. Yeah, since she didn't give me particulars of where the wage theft is occurring, we can't really speak to that. But there's a couple of places that I'm trying to think what we could do or what she could do to investigate this. I mean, especially look at what your state's labor laws are.
Right.
I was looking earlier today, and there's a couple of resources that I kind of stumbled on. I looked a little bit. Wagetheft.org is a place that has some information, and I also looked at wagetheftisacrime.com.
Okay.
And this is mostly for California, which I know their labor laws are very different from a lot of other states because I've worked with hourly employees from California, and even though they are in Texas or Arkansas, they still abide by California labor laws. So like when we would work like a 15-hour shift, they would take their hour lunch and then with us, and then like after 8 hours, they take another second lunch. Because that's how the state laws work. So it's different for every state. So I would definitely hone in on what your labor laws are for your state. I mean, and heck, even I don't know. I'd say even try and ask a lawyer a question about it.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I mean all of those things are things that you can do. I mean, what I'm concerned about here is that she's spoken to the union and the employer, and both of them are saying it's normal across the state. It can't be wrong. You're wrong. You just don't understand the law.
Is it normal or is it legal? Because
Right.
normal does not mean right.
Right. Correct.
Normal does not mean legal.
Yeah. Just because everybody does it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. What it sounds like to me is that it's a fight that they're unwilling to take up. Whether it's something, and who knows, this is so vague that
Yeah.
I don't know if we can give a lot of resources to fix it because we don't know exactly what the situation is. I do know though is that when it comes to a call center environment, if you're scheduled to start at 8 o'clock, you're expected to actually be seated in your chair, ready to take a phone call at 8 o'clock. That is standard because there is a piece of time where you're going to need to get logged in, get yourself situated, put your coat down and get your computer password in and all those things. Because I think a lot of times what happens is that they had to institute these kinds of policies because you'd have that 7 or 10 minutes of people saying, 8 o'clock is when I'm supposed to start, but nobody's available to take a phone call at 8 o'clock
because somebody walks in and they're getting their coat put away. They're putting their lunch in the fridge in the break room. They're going to the bathroom real quick. They're, doing a bunch of other things that are not there. So that you're right. That's probably why they had to institute those kinds of rules.
Right.
But like I said, it's a little too vague, so we don't know.
And I do think that 7-minute time frame was the legal limit, at least in Wisconsin, because that's where I was working. So to say that this is the block of time that is within the legal limit to be able to be logged in or punched in, but not working yet, and going as unpaid time because it's prep time. So
yeah.
Other than that, there's not much more here, Katie, that we can talk about because there's not a lot of specifics. But so there's the state, your state labor union. If that's, I don't know if you're talking about your union or the state labor union or how that goes. Escalating that up might help you. I'm not a labor expert, so I am sorry. But it's, I kind of got stuck on this one because I didn't really know what she was asking.
Yeah, and I mean, we can speculate about all these different situations, but, if you feel it's something that you do need to check up on, definitely go through the state labor laws. And, even if they say, oh, well, it goes across the state, it can't be wrong. Well, tell them how they are wrong. If you can cite it in the law, show that to them to prove that you are correct and they are mistaken. So do that. I mean, even if you need to talk to a lawyer, if you feel it's worth talking to a lawyer about, just to if they'll do like a short consultation or something, or just call around and see, that's an idea as well.
Yeah, I just I guess I'm wondering what this is. How does this affect Katie?
Yeah.
Is this a situation where you're just seeing this happen and nobody's doing anything about it and you can't stand that? Is it something that's illegal that's happening that is illegal and nobody cares and nobody wants to do anything about it to rock the boat? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're right, if it's like 7 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's half an hour. That's 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So times 52, that's like 20 something hours a year that you're not getting paid for, which in the grand scheme of it doesn't sound like a lot. And it isn't compared to the rest of the pay. But if it's illegal, it's illegal.
Now, I mean, I know it's not illegal in most places to give there's that small window of prep time, on to hand that to you so you're sitting down and ready to go. 2020 site, she is a massage therapist, and she says that her session starts at the beginning of her shift, but she's expected to clock in 15 minutes ahead of time so she can prepare the treatment room and read her charts. She's not paid for that time, but she's earning time towards her paid time off as being clocked in and on the clock during that time. She's not being paid for it, but so it depends on the industry, the profession, how the pay works, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully Katie will send us an update and let us know a little bit more. If you guys have thoughts, though, we wanted to bring this up to you on the show because it was something that was written in, and we don't have a lot of expertise on this one. But if you do, we can certainly bring it up because it's got, the general rule of Tauren Think Tank is if someone has a problem, most likely others do too. So,
Yeah. Or if you're a labor law expert or lawyer, you can write us in and we'll get you connected with Katie and we'll figure out if she has a case or if there is anything here with that or if
Yeah.
there's anything that can be done.
and we might need more specifics about it too. But any
Yeah.
resources that you have, that would be great. Okay, let's fly into the think tank question. Let's do that.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Tink Tank time. Tink Tank time. Here we go. This was a little lengthy, but it gives a good description, so I kept most of the length of it. Dear Triple T, greetings and thank you for a fabulous show. I'm writing this week regarding a question from my past. This year, 2016, is the 20th anniversary of my graduating high school. I have come a long way in those 20 years, been married to the most wonderful lady in the world for over 10 years, had wonderful children, and have a reasonably successful career in my chosen field. I'm in a pretty good place in the world. Some of the people I knew from high school are still friends. Most I have never heard from or heard from since and would rather not. Like many in this wider community, I had extreme social issues in high school. While I was lucky enough to have a small group of good friends, for the most part, I was an outsider to the so-called cool kids of the time until my senior year. I was, for want of another term, bullied and socially excluded for reasons I still do not understand. Once I reached senior year, it was not bullying, but more just being invisible. I never felt part of the wider school community. I've never felt that loyalty one feels for their old high school football team, etc. Now it has been 20 years. The talk of the reunion has been brought up by those close friends mentioned earlier via Facebook and other social media. I didn't attend the 10th year reunion aside from not wanting to see any of those high school people again. I thought a reunion for only 10 years was a bit silly. I've been asked by many people whether I will go to the 20-year reunion with the expectation that it almost must happen or is required. Now, see, here's the thing. I have absolutely no interest in seeing, interacting, or catching up with any of those people from high school who for me represent nothing but bad times. It's not a rawr, I hate them thing. It's more a big giant meh. I'm not interested. I'm not even slightly interested. I've moved on and I've rarely, if ever, looked back. What bothers me is that by not going to this reunion, which I'm not really interested in, am I trying to avoid the feelings that I felt all those years ago? And is this something I should force myself to do because it's healthy? I'm in a very good place, very happy and comfortable in my life now. I don't know how attending an expensive event to make small talk with people I don't like at worst, or I'm completely not interested in at best, while the topic of that small talk invariably being a time and place in my life that was, again, for want of a better term, misery, would benefit me in any way. I'm also not interested in showing everyone how great my life has been despite the misery I endured at their hands. I just truly do not care. Should I force myself to go confront these feelings or just stay moved on? It's been suggested that by not going, I am avoiding confronting these issues and would somehow be better up dredging all of this stuff up again. Is this actual maturity or am I just kidding myself? I'd love your experiences or perspective on this given your discussion of forgiveness that was on a few shows ago. Love, Torrance.
All righty.
High school reunion time.
Oh, yeah.
So give it up. Have you been to a high school reunion?
I have. I went to my 10-year reunion a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 5 years ago now because it's 15 years this year. And I, little background, I was the fat kid in band that everybody picked on. Everybody made fun of me. I got picked on, all that stuff. Band was the one place that I really enjoyed the most and was able to be part of a group. But when I went, the thing about it, most of these people over the course of years is that we grow up, right? Or we hope everyone grows up a little bit. And for me, when I went, there wasn't people had put all that juvenile stuff kind of behind them, and everybody was at least happy to see everyone else. I talked to the biggest preps in my class like they were next door neighbors, just caught up, and it was very nice. It was very nice to talk to everybody. They were really genuine in wanting to see how everybody's been, and they were happy to see everybody. So for me, it was a positive experience. There is some awkwardness because you haven't seen people in a while, and there were a couple of names I forgot.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they were like, "Hey, you don't even remember my name, do you?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen you in 10 years. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And it was just overall, it was a positive experience for me. And not all of my friends were there. A lot of people that I were kind of acquaintances with / a few of the bullies were there, but they had all kind of let bygones be bygones by that point. And it was just enjoying kind of each other's company for those 2 days, because we did a football game on Friday night and then a social kind of party thing on Saturday night. So it was pretty good, even though I was made fun of a lot. A lot of people had kind of grown up and realized what jerks they were. I even had one person apologize.
Wow.
So, and that was, and at this point it doesn't bother me that much because, kids are kids. And so I was okay. It wasn't like I was okay with it, but it didn't mess me up. I haven't been messed up because of it.
Yeah.
So, it was a good experience. And in fact, we've still got the Facebook group, and somebody asked last week, "Hey guys, it is the 15 year this year. We're thinking of doing anything later this year?" Like, maybe. We thought about just doing something kind of casual, just kind of hanging out. Nothing big or boisterous or big renting a space or anything. But yeah, I mean, I'd say overall it was a positive experience getting to catch up with everybody and really kind of put the past behind you and try to see who you are now as less of who you were, who they were back then. Because people change. I mean, especially after high school, you get out there in the real world and the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
You learn real quick. So that's kind of how it was for me.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you done any of your reunions?
Yes. I went to my 10-year reunion, and like so many in this chat room listening to this show, I was not popular in high school at all. I had a couple of good friends that tended to, by senior year, they had pretty much just drifted away completely. I spent most of my senior year by myself. I got straight A's. I was able to study a ton because I didn't really connect with anybody. And yeah, I was such a nerd. And but so I did wind up going to the 10-year reunion, which was a pretty cool experience for me because it was the same thing. Things had equalized. The people who didn't give me the time of day or were mean or were insulting were actually conversational. Things had equalized a bit.
Yeah.
And so the 20-year came around a couple years ago, and I signed up to go. I was planning to come out, and they were going to do it over Thanksgiving weekend. And so I was planning to come visit my family for Thanksgiving, and they actually canceled it because of non-attendance, non-response. They sent me my check back and said, "We're not going to have it," because they didn't have anybody who wanted to go.
Yeah. Well, that happens after, the 10-year, it's still pretty fresh in your mind, but as the years go by, more and more people kind of fall off the wagon as far as, going farther away from where you grew up and where you went to high school. It's harder and harder for people to make it because, it would be completely reasonable for you not be able to come in to New Jersey from Wisconsin. So
right.
it's
And
acceptable.
I had actually won a prize at the 10-year for the person who had come the furthest to attend the reunion. So it was pretty cool. But so here's the thing. These days now, like when I go home to New Jersey, there's not a single person that I want to go visit, to hang out with, to spend time with. I don't keep in touch with anybody because I'm so different than who I was back in high school.
Sure.
I lacked confidence. I lacked any security about myself. I didn't like myself very much when I was in school. And so I didn't connect with people like I do now. And, I think about the way it is for when I go to a meetup or meet people and how I can just, be embraced by people. And if you saw me at 18 years old, you would be like, there is no way that girl would turn into the girl she is now. And so when I look at that and I say this, you go to high school because you have to. Those people aren't there because you chose to spend time with them. They just happen to be there because they live in the same town as you do.
Yeah.
There's no reason or purpose for you to connect with them. There's nothing there to say that this is supposed to be the most amazing thing of your life. And for some, it is. But I would say for probably the majority of people who listen to this podcast, we're all going to kind of say, yeah, I was kind of the nerd in high school. And high school was not the best time of my life. And for me, college was so much better because I could pick who I spent time with in college.
Mm-hmm.
I could pick new friends, and if I didn't like them, I could go find somebody else who were friends that were, there were so many more people.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So for Torrance, and by the way, Torrance is our generic male John Doe name, spelled Taurence, because we'll always get these emails to say Torrent, Torrent. It's our generic John Doe name.
It's like Lawrence, but a Tauren named Lawrence. Torrance.
And derailed.
Help them spell it, I guess.
I guess. I'm looking at the chat room and the stories that are coming through this chat room. My gosh, guys, you got to watch the Twitch archive, by the way, and see the chat room alongside this conversation because it's amazing. Okay, back on topic. For Torrance, you have your answer in your email. It is there. You're saying, I don't care. I don't care. So why do you think it's necessary for you to be made to care? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just the social norms or pressure,
Yeah, and I think it's because his friends are saying that it must happen or is required, like he says, that's the expectation. And I think that his friends that he knows through that he still keeps up with those social media are reinforcing that idea. It's like, oh man, well, you gotta come. You've gotta come. You gotta see everybody.
I don't gotta do anything.
You don't gotta do anything. There's a lot of there's people that are my friends that are even, in fact, my best friend in high school wasn't at the 10-year reunion, and he lives in the same town. I'm from a town of like 8,000 people. So all he would have to do is like drive a mile and he'd be there, but he wasn't able to make it. And not everybody that I wanted to see was there. There were some people that I knew that I still remembered that I wanted to see, but they couldn't make it for some reason or another, or they just didn't want to, because a lot of my friends were kind of like me, the bullied ones, the kind of the outcast type of people in high school. And so, high school didn't do them any favors. So why would they want to bother with it?
Right.
The only reason I could see for you wanting to go at this point, judging by your letter, is because you don't want to say, well, I didn't get to see that, it could be as something as morbid as, well, that person died like 6 months later and I could have at least said hi. If it was one of your like small friend acquaintances and you would have had that chance, but you didn't. But that's just my mind. I mean, everybody's mind thinks a different way.
Sure.
But for me, if I was in that position, I would still maybe go just to that. And another thing is you get to see your friends in person. It's not so much about everybody at high school that's going to be at the reunion, but the ones that you made connections with are the ones that you get to see them again. I don't know how close you live to your friends that you still have from high school, but I don't know. Seeing them at least and having all you guys together in one spot is kind of cool. I mean, you could still have your own little compartment of the greater reunion. You don't have to hobnob with just anybody and everybody. I didn't get to say hi to absolutely everyone at my reunion because there was just too many people, not enough time.
Mm-hmm.
But, just for the heck of it, I would probably go. But if you don't feel that strong pull, then no one's making you go, you know?
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing that I think stands out most in his letter. He says, what bothers me is by not going to this reunion where I'm not really interested in, am I trying to avoid the feelings that I felt all those years ago? And this is this something I should force myself to do because it's quote unquote healthy? No.
Nah, not really. Shouldn't you said it right there when you said force. You shouldn't force yourself to do it. I mean, it can be therapeutic a bit because, like I said, some of the people that made fun of me in high school were very nice and they apologized, and we had really great conversations, and that was therapeutic for me. Because there wasn't any harsh feelings because I try not to hold on to harsh feelings to people because it only hurts you, doesn't hurt the other person. But still being able to make better memories on top of the bad ones for that person or that acquaintance, saying that, oh, well, they're not still a jerk. They're actually a nice person now.
Yeah. So after 10 years when I went, I really did want to prove that I was a cool person and they were wrong about who I was. I really did. I'll absolutely admit that. I wanted to show them that I was successful, that I had a good job, that I was, a cool person to hang around with, and I was actually fun. And a lot of people did see that in my personality because they gave me the chance. Now I sit here 10 years past that, more than 10 years past that. And I sit there and I say, I don't effing care because these people don't have, when I look at my life now and how full it is and how wonderful the people are that I have that are surrounding me, I have nothing to prove to anybody. And that's where I am right now. And it could very well be an age thing. Your 10-year anniversary, you're 28 years old. Your 20-year anniversary, you're 38 years old. That's a big branch of time for you to mature and change as a person with life experiences. You have children, you have a marriage, you have a job, you've established yourself and your self-confidence. If I knew the stuff that I know now back even 10 years ago, I would be a very different person then. But it wasn't the case. I didn't have those life experiences. I had this conversation with my dad, while I was out there. He's like, wouldn't it be amazing to be a young person with the life experience of an older person? We had that conversation. We talked about that, and I had to come to the conclusion of saying, you know what? The reason that I got those life experiences was by living. And by making mistakes and by learning and doing things. So I guess I wouldn't because, you learn along the way. So, I come from that perspective, Torrance, that I know 20 years changes a whole lot after the 10 and after the graduation. If there is a reunion that comes around my plate again, I'm not going because I just don't care. I have too much more in my life to think about than high school, which doesn't even register. I don't even log into my Facebook half the time. So, yeah. So that's me now. But that's me, and it's not everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I will probably go to my 20th just to check up on things and see how everybody's doing because it's not a, I'd be cool with seeing it or being there. And I mean, for me, I'm always thinking about networking possibilities too, because you never know what classmate may be able, because it's not what you know, it's who you know.
True.
I mean, in a large extent. I mean, I know it. A lot of people know it. It's pretty much true. So on the off chance that there may be something that can help me out also is another reason why I would go.
Sure.
I mean, and that, it probably will come up a bust, it wouldn't amount to anything, but you don't know unless you try. And for me personally, that's why I would try.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it sounds like you've got it figured out, man. Like you are just fine in your life. I wouldn't go there just to force yourself into any kind of quasi-therapeutic memory digging up thing, because you've moved past that. You've moved past high school and you've come out pretty good on the other side. So, I mean, there's no reason to really dig it up unless you think you have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
I look at it this way.
Hmm.
The only reason to dig up the past is to understand your future.
True.
So if you're not having, like going through therapy myself, I dig up the past to try to understand where I am now so I don't make the same mistakes for the future. So, but if you're happy with where you are right now and there aren't issues, there's no need to go back. There's no need to go backwards and look at where you came from and how you got here unless you need it.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting the importance of going to therapy and doing things like this. Now, if you went through traumatic experiences in high school and you just needed to have the reassurance and the understanding that I'm a great guy and I really have a good life and who I was back then isn't who I am now. And maybe you do need to go if you need to know that confidence. You need to feel it. You need to see it.
Gives you a bit of closure with it.
Right. But if you don't, then it's not necessary to as you said, force it. Make it feel like it's an opportunity to do something. It's one day. And it's going to be over, and those guys will move on with their lives and continue the paths that they're going. So you don't need to come backwards to go forwards all the time.
Not all the time.
So, yeah. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah.
And, he tied this into our discussion about forgiveness a couple weeks ago, which... That's like the conversation that will continue to come back, which is great. It was a really powerful show. It was one of my favorite shows we've ever done.
It really was.
But I would say that, if you're holding on to issues of people bullying or treating you poorly or that kind of thing, and you feel like you need to close that door with them, then close that door. In the ways that you need to, either just to say, hey, my life is really awesome and look at my kids and they're so cool and I'm raising a bunch of nerds and they're just having a blast with life. And so I don't know if this is a conversation about forgiveness with a high school reunion, but it could be.
Yeah, well, in the way I was talking about how people apologize for the way they treated me, going to the reunion and seeing the other classmates as they are now, as they are different people now, it can kind of help forge a way to forgive the past.
Yeah.
The things that had happened, the things you did wrong, the things others did wrong. It's kind of because you still hold on to those memories from high school. You don't have anything to put on top of it. And when you see those people 10 or 20 years later, you've got a longer reaching, more understanding about who they are now, and it can kind of help you let go of who they once were in a way, because they were just kids back then.
Yeah.
And now they are a better person than they were before, and so are you.
And maybe they've not changed at all.
And maybe some people don't change. I mean, there are a few that just do not change.
Yeah.
But for the ones that do grow up and grow into a more complete, more understanding person, it could be an avenue for you to. I saw a 20 said avenue, and then I said it out loud at the same time. That was weird.
Yeah.
My brain kind of went, what? So yeah, if you see who they are now and get this more recent understanding, current understanding of who they are, it can help kind of alleviate those memories of who they once were and what they once did to you.
Yeah.
Because probably if you dig up any of that stuff, like, hey, do you remember that time you kicked a trash can over and then put on my head? They may not remember it. Who knows? But just kind of letting go. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, I don't know how much of these memories are affecting him. Doesn't seem like it is.
No.
He was just stating kind of what happened to him back then, like in my same way.
Yeah.
That I was bullied, but it doesn't really, it doesn't come into play much in my current everyday life.
Right.
Because I've moved past it. And mostly because I've forgiven the way people once were. And that's kind of what I did at the reunion too, when people apologized for the way they treated me, is that I forgave them because they are not that same person they were 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
Time is a great equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's a lot of, it's a lot of perspectives on this. I would say do what your gut tells you is needed. There's no need to psychoanalyze this. If you feel like you are truly being honest with yourself and saying, I don't need this in my life and I don't need to return here to feel like a closure needs to happen with the way that my life needs to go in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes we don't realize that we need it. Sometimes we don't realize that we hold on to that baggage. And just by having it come up, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Torrance, and say, just by having it come up, it did dig up memories for you that you're not sure if you want to face or not.
Yeah.
And so there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's really just a matter of saying, is it necessary for me to move on with my future? If I have to face, do I need to face these problems in order to feel like a better, secure person going down the road in the future? So,
yeah. From the sound of the letter, it doesn't seem like he does. But, we don't know for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't say just close the door and say, heck no, I'm not going. I'd at least think about it just in case.
My spidey sense says there's something here more than he's written, but...
The tingling.
I know, it's tingling. So I just say, there we go. So...
yeah. But if you do decide to go Torrance, let us know how it went.
Yeah.
Or if you don't go, you give us some feedback either way. We'd love to hear back from you.
Absolutely. We always love feedback, and that can be sent to questions@taurentthinktank.com. That's our email address. That's how you find us. And that's how you send us letters and feedback and comments about the stuff that we talk about on the show.
Yep. If you've got a topic or you want to comment on this topic or either one that we've done tonight, just send it to questions@taurentthinktank.com.
Yes, sir. And now we hit our Tell Us One Thing section, which is right now.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
I don't know what it is about my throat, but I've got like this rawness in my throat tonight, and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
I hate
Probably
that.
all the... is stuff blooming up there for you, or is it still tundra?
It snowed yesterday, so...
Yeah, that's what I heard. Everything is blooming down here. So I've got the nose stuff and the throat stuff for the last week.
Yeah.
It's been like, ugh.
It's not good. It could be that things are blooming and I don't even know because it's snowed. I almost swore. Yes, I almost swore.
You're that close.
I stopped myself.
I'm going to need the soundboard so I can bleep you.
Bleep. Yeah, okay. So let's start with Tell Us One Thing. From MacGyver. If you were a car, what would you be? Make, model, and color?
Well, the easy and obvious answer is the 1981 DeLorean Coupe stainless steel. Classic. The iconic car of the 80s is the DMC DeLorean. The only one that they made. But that's the easy answer. I would probably go... Goodness, I'm just trying to think. I was going to look this up before and see what other kind of cars I like the look of. But, gosh, I'd go with like a sports car or something. Just if I were a car, I would want to be something that would command some presence and look really cool. Mm-hmm. I'd want it to be like bright orange.
Bright orange?
Steel. Yeah, that's my favorite color. So and you don't see it a lot on the road. You don't see neon orange, black light responsive orange cars on the street. So I would do something like that, some kind of sports car. Or maybe like a 4-door car, just anything, just bright orange, whatever it is.
Bright orange car. Okay.
Oh yeah, offensively bright orange.
Like
just oh gosh, what is that? Is that the sun? No, it's my car.
Are we talking like
no, it's me.
The Dukes of Hazzard car, like that orange?
No, that's brighter than that. That's
brighter?
Still a little too dark, like neon orange, just like highlighter orange.
Highlighter orange.
Like orange highlighter orange.
That's great.
What about you?
I need help. I'm stuck on this because I have no idea. I'm not a fashion person, so I'm, my wardrobe is jeans and t-shirts, and so I'm like, I don't know what kind of car I would be because I'm just boring when it comes to my look.
Let's see. Like a Honda Civic, maybe.
I've had a Honda Civic. I own
great car.
It is a great car. I owned one.
It's a fantastic car.
I have a Subaru Legacy now, so
Oh.
it's kind of more of what I am. Subaru, because it handles well in the snow.
Well, you get-
My Honda Civic was the worst in the snow. Oh my gosh. Whoop, whoop. Fishtailing all over the place. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I have no idea, guys. I have not a clue what car I would be.
What color would it be if you were a car?
Well, my favorite color is red. So probably like bright cherry red. Like my car
Like
right
a
now is
fire
like a
truck?
burgundy color, which is kind of boring. But
More like boring could be.
yeah, it is boring. Like none of the cars that none of the boring cars that I buy make cool colors of them. It's all like navy blue, forest green, burgundy, white, black. I mean, it's boring. So
Well, you go to Walmart and buy some Krylon and just do it that way.
sure. Go and paint your own car, Jules, because that's going to turn
Yeah.
out well.
Oh yeah, it'll be great.
I have no idea. I have zero idea. I guess
So-
I'd be a Honda Civic because I will just
Yeah,
be boring, generic, blah.
but reliable, steadfast, stalwart, and also cherry red.
And cherry red for a little punch
Yeah.
of flair.
Yeah, got to show a little bit of personality through it.
Yeah, exactly. So
There you go.
go ahead and read the next one.
The next one's from Memeth. What April Fool's joke or silliness did you find the funniest? And he enjoyed the Wowhead Pepe preview.
I didn't see that one. Did you see it?
I did not. I didn't really look on Wowhead a lot that day. I didn't look around a whole lot because I know April Fool's Day is a day for complete BS on the internet, and I don't want to get my hopes up. So I just kind of steered clear of it for the most part. Trying to think what all I saw.
There
I
were
mean, yeah, we
two
saw the-
that I saw that I really thought were great.
Which ones did you see?
So on Facebook, I saw a picture of Bruce Campbell announcing he was the new Doctor Who.
Oh, I saw that one.
That was funny.
I would take that.
That was really funny. And of course, people were like, I want this to happen. Like, it was just, of course,
Uh-huh.
that's the one thing with, the one from several years ago, which was awful, was when they were saying Firefly was coming back.
Oh, that cut too deep.
It did.
It was too soon.
Was like, too soon, you jerks. The other one that I really liked, a product one, was Japanese Kit Kats created a sushi of like this. It was like sushi Kit Kat. So the base of it was their brightly pastel colored like pink and green sushi with actual like the rice on top of them. It was the cutest
wow.
picture. It was like like introducing Kit Kat sushi, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. So yeah,
I would try that.
I know. So
I would
that's really
definitely
cool.
try that.
I really dislike April Fool's Day just because I am like, I don't want to tweet a damn thing today because I don't want someone to think that this is a joke,
Yeah.
I had forgotten to ask for our Tell Us One Thing questions on Thursday because I was so busy on Thursday. And I'm like, crap, I've got to ask for them today. And so I had to have put on there, no joke. I forgot. Please get. Ugh.
It is not a joke.
Yeah. So.
I'm trying to see if there was an April Fool's thing that I did see, because I there was a couple of them in movie news that I saw.
Uh-huh.
Trying to go back in their archive and see if I can remember what it was.
Erlena's talking about the Google one. I saw
I didn't
that.
see the Google one.
So Google had this button on their site, on their mail, when you're using Gmail. And it said, there was their send button, and then next to it was in orange, and it said send and mic drop. And if you clicked it, it put like a GIF of, like there were the minions doing the mic drop thing. And unfortunately, they got in trouble because someone clicked it by saying, I regret to inform you that your uncle died or something like that. And then they pressed
Ooh.
that button and the GIF popped up and
Oh no. Whoops.
whoops. Yeah.
Whoopsie.
I saw that button come up and I'm like, what is this? And it popped up on Thursday night. And it was weird. So I was completely confused because I didn't know what was happening.
Well, there were a couple that I liked from that happened. Sony actually put out a fake commercial saying that they had it's a little fake ad for the proton pack from the new Ghostbusters thing, and they were like, we have collaborated with the best physicists and engineers, including, and they said the character's name of the gal in the new movie, and Egon Spengler, to bring you the new synchrotron technology. And they went through the blueprints of how the proton pack works, and everything was a real commercial for it. And I thought it was really well made. I could tell it was just kind of like marketing April Fool's Day stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't very well disguised as a real thing. So that was okay. And another one I saw is that I think it was on, I don't know, it might have been on Thursday, but they had for some reason, one of the news stations in Chicago had Tom Hiddleston on, and he kind of pretended to be Loki for a minute doing the weather map.
Doing the weather.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny. I don't think it was an April Fool's Day thing. I think it was just he was in the studio and he did it, but it came up on all the news websites on Friday. So I think it might have kind of been related or something like that. But I thought that was pretty good.
By the way, Tom Hiddleston is my secret boyfriend, by the way.
Well, it's not secret anymore.
I know, but it's his secret to him because he doesn't know.
Because he doesn't know. I was like, can I get an autograph?
He's my secret boyfriend.
Either that or just, can he just call me a mewling Quim once? Because that would be just
Please.
fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Please. You can insult me all you want, Loki. I don't care.
And of course, the WoW patch notes. I did like Hearthstone the MMO.
That
one
pretty
was
funny.
pretty. I was like, yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Very cool.
It was cool. Yeah, it was. I didn't get fooled at all on Friday. Nothing made me go, and then I was like, oh, guys. So it didn't fool me, but
That's awesome.
it was all right.
And finally from Solovala, would you rather fight 100 gnome-sized deathwings or one deathwing-sized gnome?
I would like to take on 100 gnome-sized deathwings because then I can go bowling. I could just take some bowling balls and just throw them, knock over a bunch of deathwings. Or, it would be more fun to fight all of the little ones flying around and running around better than, one giant-sized gnome.
This is tough for me because it makes me feel like, like the swarm kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say one deathwing sized gnome because at least I'd have more surface area to hit. So I would say that probably because I there's a bit of a phobia of like, when you go walking in the summertime, when you're walking around like a wooded area and you hit the batch of gnats. In the evening we walk through a gnat and
Gross.
Ew. So that's what I envision with the 100 gnome-sized deathwings. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
I hate bugs, so when that happens, I freak out and I'm like, ugh.
I hate bugs too. Ugh, I hate bugs.
Gross.
And let me tell you something. Living on your own means that whenever there's a bug in your apartment, you're the only one who's there to kill it.
Yeah, it's just you.
I've had to kill
Can't
two
really
of
call
them
a
already.
neighbor.
Yeah, and the cats are no help. I tell you, they just sit there and stare at it. So it's like there's a
Hey,
bug
Mom,
there.
what's that?
Kill it.
No, you kill it.
No, you kill it. So so that's Tell Us One Thing for the week. You guys can send us your questions on Thursdays through our Twitter account, which is at Tauren Think Tank. Anytime earlier than that is fine. You can also email them you can email them in to questions@taurenthinktank.com. That's what I was trying to say.
And you can also submit them on our Discord server.
Oh,
We have a channel called Tell Us One Thing. Just drop them right in there and we'll see them.
and that is tinyurl.com/tttchat2 is the link for our Discord server. If you want to come join us, there are a whole lot of Triple T fans hanging out in there, and they are cool.
They are cool.
They are cool. Okay, we have an update for you and a whole bunch of other stuff's yet to go. So here we go with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, That's a lot of feedback.
Sure is. We have an update from Nymphadora, aka Gamer Nymph. She wrote us back after the show talking about how to discuss political issues with her family because she was having issues with her parents calling her political views and other things that she had done stupid. She says, Jules and Marconin, thank you again for your amazing advice. Jules, I have loved seeing your family pics up on Twitter. I hope you had a safe trip back to where you now call home. Marconin, I'm sorry for pet loss. Pets are amazing. When we lose one, it's like losing a family member. I wanted to give you guys an update. Today is Easter, and as we sat on the front porch with my parents, we got to talking. We ended up talking and being open and honest, so I took that opportunity to tell them how they'd been making me feel lately. I didn't get too much into it because I didn't want to bombard them with too much at once, but I was able to talk specifically to my father about he gets so adamant about his position and that he has to be right, and it makes me feel like what I say or feel doesn't matter. That really hit him hard. I told them that it makes me feel like I'm 15 again when he and my mom treat me the way they treat me. They both took this very hard, but I could tell they were listening to me. There were points where they got a little defensive, and I just kept saying, you don't have to defend yourself to me. It's okay. I don't love you any less. I don't want to keep doing it this way. They opened up and told me they'd been going to something called Celebrate Recovery, which is essentially group therapy at their church. It's like AA, but they cover a range of things in addition to alcohol and or drug addiction. My dad has been struggling with the fact that he wasn't always the best dad, and it hurt him to hear me say those words. And my mom, well, she started out doing her guilt thing like so many moms do. She calmed down instead of storming off and just listened to me. I stressed that it was coming from a loving place and that I needed to be allowed to have my own opinions. I also stressed that they weren't perfect, but they were still good parents. When we left, he said to me, I'm working on just listening. I said, Dad, I love you and I appreciate your advice, but sometimes I don't need it all. I just don't need it. All I want is someone to talk to. I don't always need you to fix it. We ended up staying 3 hours longer than anticipated because that's how long the conversation lasted. And we cried on their front porch in the rain, listening to classic rock. Players work. Therapy is an amazing thing. And I haven't even finished the Crucial Conversations book, but it was helpful. Thank you again from Nymphadora, a.k.a. Gamer Nymph.
See, now that's awesome. That's awesome that they got to sit down and even work through, the automatic defense mechanisms that her parents had and just talked, just like three adults.
And that, I mean,
that is awesome.
What she accomplished here was an outstanding change in attitude and approach in talking with them to say, I'm not trying to you don't need to defend yourself. We just need to talk about this. That was so good. And it's not easy to do it. So I give you so much credit, girl. That is fantastic. To sit there and connect with them, that's fantastic. You did so well. Yes. So happy for you.
That's like exactly what we wanted to hear,
Best
that
updates
was so great.
are just like that.
One of the best feedbacks we've gotten.
Yes.
Or updates, rather.
That is awesome. And she did all the work. The only thing, Grand Nagus is saying Triple T help at its best. No, it was her work that did it. She just opened the conversation to have it and have the conversation with herself, with us. And then, but we did no work. They did. She did it. So that was fantastic.
It's all you, girl.
Work.
All you.
Congrats to you, because that's awesome. All right. Slash Boo time. Fire away, sir.
First one comes from our friend MooGyver. A slash moo for the truly wonderful Marie Peters, a.k.a. Miss Miggy, marketing manager for Blizzard Australia and New Zealand, who will be leaving Australia in 2 weeks and making a new home in Irvine as part of Blizzard US. We down here are all going to miss her dearly, but are thrilled with her new challenge and the next stage of her career. May the eternal sun shine upon thee, my friend, from all your Aussie and Kiwi friends.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
From Tiber /Moo for all the generous donors who are helping El Jeppy with his fundraiser to help with his home care following multiple medical setbacks. You guys are wonderful. Hopefully Care at Home will help Jeppy get better, stronger, faster, and we will all be able to bask in his World of Warcraft wisdom again soon.
Definitely. From Nymphadora. Can I give a slash moo? Yes, you can. To my dad for scoring us free tickets to see Kinky Boots this weekend. I'm so excited. I love musicals.
Me too.
I dig a good musical.
Me too. From Lost Night, slash moo to Kalani for helping take time to help me with a video card upgrade.
I did read that. That was awesome. Also from Razor 70. And actually, I'm kind of thinking of getting the same graphics card that Kalani suggested because I might need a new one.
Yeah.
Next one is from Razor 70. Slash moo to the CTR Guild for always being there when someone is in need of help or just a smile for the day.
From Grand Nagus, slash moo and all the love to Juno from Corpse Run Radio with her loss of her beloved cat Halloween, slash hugs. And slash moo to El Jeppy, have a speedy recovery. We were thinking of you and you are in our prayers.
Definitely.
I have a slash moo to give.
Oh, you do?
I do. I'm going to give a major slash moo to my friend Jayance because those who are on the stream right now can see that I am sitting in a brand new, beautiful purple and black DX Racer chair.
It is stylish.
It is awesome and amazing, and Jay insisted on purchasing this for me for my birthday, which is not until July, by the way. But he is fantastic, and he is an excellent friend, and I'm still blown away by this gift. So
that's awesome.
So thank you, Jay. I love you. We've been having so much fun playing. We created Smurf accounts on Heroes. So we're playing our just new accounts on Heroes of the Storm to start working on some better MMR because when you start playing your account, you lose a ton. You wreck your matchmaking ranking. So we started playing new accounts just now that we know how to play,
So do you have to rebuy all of the heroes and stuff and all the skins and everything?
Yeah, so basically what I'm just doing is buying them with gold. I'm not spending any extra money, but
okay.
Yeah, but if you did, you'd have to buy all the stuff again.
Okay.
Yep.
Man.
And apparently my chair gives me cat ears because the pillow goes behind me, so I'm keeping it. I think it's cool.
Perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah. It fits me. So so that's my slash
awesome.
move for the week.
Oh yeah, definitely slash mood in for that. That is awesome.
This is like heaven for my butt. So
slash move from her butt.
My butt gives you a slash boo. Oh, now we're getting silly. So we're just going to start closing this up on our show is available on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on our website, which is TaurenThinkTank.com. All of our videos, our YouTube videos are recorded for the show. You can find them on their website. All of our podcasts, everything is there. The chat room is already getting show titles ready for us for the show because that's what they do because they're amazing. That is how you can find us. And we have completed a show for the evening. So, Marconin, what's happening for you this week? What are you doing? Anything that people can find you doing?
Applying for new jobs.
They're not going to find you doing that, though.
They're not going to find me, no, but that's what I'll be doing. I made a very simple looking Overwatch overlay for when I stream playing some Overwatch. So I may do that some more this week. So yeah, just check out my Twitter and follow that to see whenever I do that. I'll probably do that maybe once or twice this week.
Yeah.
Just to keep playing and to show off the game and show off my mediocre / slightly okay Photoshop skills. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. I had the idea and I was able to put it onto digital paper. I was able to put it down, so it worked. So I'll be doing that. I might try and dabble back into Heroes. I've been really wanting to play some more after seeing all the buzz and especially seeing the video about Tracer coming out soon. Like,
I want everything of hers. I want it all.
Yes, I need the Spectre skin and the mount.
I want
like seeing that thing. I was like, oh yeah, yes, must have it. So yeah, I'll be doing a little bit of gaming. Hopefully, we're going to take down Heroic Archimon tomorrow night for Cat on Fire. So stay tuned for that. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else going on this week.
Okay. Cool.
What about you?
So tomorrow night, I'm going to be guesting on a podcast that I've never been on before
Ooh.
called Geek or Die. So it's going to be a fun time. Basically, I've just got to bring something I'm geeking out over and talk about it on the show as a roundtable discussion. So I don't know who else is going to be there with me, but we'll just do it and it'll be fun. And I still don't know what I'm going to talk about, so I'll figure that out.
That's cool.
Yeah. Tuesdays, Hots Ladies Nights with Jocelyn, Jen, Nevermore, and Barber. We play Heroes of the Storm as a group of 5 ladies, and we're crude and rude and awesome, and it's great. Twitch.tv/Joss Plays. So much fun. We keep quotes in the chat room of what we say, and I think we're up to like 60 something crazy things. Fridays, Drinking and Swearing with Jules and Pat. This past week we played Heroes of the Storm as we played on the new Lost Cavern map, which is the single lane map, and we did it as a random. So the technical term is ARAM, all random, all mid. But you just basically pick a random character, let it pick it for you, and everybody plays as a group of 10. It was so much fun. So
wow.
And we play a different game every week. So we play Overwatch, we play Heroes, we play Jackbox Party Pack, we play Brawlhalla. We do a whole bunch of different stuff. So join us on Friday nights for that. I think that's about it. I haven't plugged this for a while, so I'll just do it right now. I'm also a life coach on the side, and I've been coaching a whole lot more with a whole bunch of people, which is fantastic. And I've been getting a ton of experience doing it. So if you're interested in learning more about what I do as a life coach, if you have a problem with your career and with the things in your life that you want to change, relationships, family, you want to try to make a change or you're not sure how to make that change, that's what I do. So we can sit down and we can talk about it, and I'd be happy to do that. Just send me an email, jules@torrenthinktank.com, or tweet me at julesrpt. That's how you find me, and we'll just figure it out. So
yeah.
And Marconin, by the way, has been doing something
Yeah.
cool he needs to plug too.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and plug that. You know that I do some audio work, production, post-production, editing, mixing, stuff like that. And this past week, I was approached by our Gildian friend, King Crumbles, and he wanted a Twitch intro, an audio intro for when he lands on his Twitch channel and comes into stream. And so he let me know what I did. And so now I'm going to start advertising my services as audio producer. So if there's something that you need voiceover work for, if you want some, I can do voices and accents. Of course, if you listen to Triple T any amount of time, I can do a little bit of voices. If there's any kind of audio stuff that you want done, you can ask me, and I will gladly help with that if I can. So if you want to, you can find me at Marconin Wow on Twitter, or you can email me at marconin@torrenthinktank.com. So yeah, any kind of number of applications, just if there's any kind of bit of audio that you think you want to do and you don't know how you want to do it, just let me know. And of course, I'll try and help you, walk you through it. What kind of tone of voice do you want? What kind of music are you thinking? What are you wanting for this or that? I've done a lot of post-production work before, both for radio and online. So yeah, just let me know. Oh, and also the new episode of the Lockheed Journals is out as of, I think, yesterday or the day before. And it was one that I did with Odinus and everybody else. I was one of the voices. I was able to reprise my role as Zinfon the Troll Warlock. He came back with a vengeance on this one.
Wow.
He ain't been around in about a year. It's been a very long time and I missed it. Missed being around here, talking to you. So if you want to go look up that, you look up Odinus on Twitter, or look up Google the Lockheed Journals, and that is Lockheed Journals. Check it out. Got a couple of friends that did a lot of different voices. Hunt the Wind was in it. MacGyver was in it. Haster was in it, just to name a few.
Yes.
It's a really great series. It's like it's like a serial radio program set in the World of Warcraft universe. It's really cool to listen to. I got to listen to it last night actually, and he does great work. And I think you guys would enjoy it. So yeah, give a big shout out to Odinus for the Lockheed Journals, and go check him out.
Excellent job. Thank you guys for this and the show. And this is how we take the show to a close. with this music that goes like this.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org.
You get it.
Oh, sorry, I have another line. There's a bug crawling on my windowsill, and I've focused on the bug. Sorry, 'cause I have to kill it.
Here.
I have to kill it. So, okay, keep going. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, TaurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you could do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us outside of the show on Twitter for the show. Well, the Twitter for the show is Tauren Think Tank on Twitter. You can also find Jules at Jules RPG and myself, Marconin, at Marconin Wow.
The bug has totally
The
tilted
bug
you.
has totally derailed my outro. It's still climbing up the drapes.
Well, hurry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, or Daylight Time right now. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. Our mobile audio stream is through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us however you consume our content. Marconin, go kill that bug.
I will as soon as the show's over. I
Okay.
can still see it. He's not going anywhere.
Thank you for an awesome show tonight. It's glad to be back, and we will be back next week on Sunday. You guys have a fantastic week. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really? Okay, I need a bug killing song. I need a bug killing song. Oh, I lost him. Did I lost him? Oh, bring me back. Oops. Let's add him back. What happened?
I went to mute it and I accidentally hit end call by accident. I was trying to. Yeah, well, it was on the little tiny thing where it just has your picture, and when I mouse over it, it's got the mute and the end call, and I hit end call instead of mute. I was like, dang it.
I was gonna go find a bug killing song for you.
Yeah. So since I could do it, really, there, I was able to do it.
Here, we'll do this.
I think I got it. I didn't know exactly where it was in the drape, so I just like took something and went shrink, and then like hit it a few times.
I was like, damn it! I wanted to play my bug killing song.
Oh man.
All right.
So what kind of
I'm
show
not
titles are
making
we
the
doing?
show title /moo from Jules's butt. I'm not making that. This gets published on stuff. Benny Hill killing a bug.
Butt heaven.
Butt heaven. Okay, show title. All right, real show title. No, Grand Nagus, I'm not doing it. These get published on stuff, and if so, this is Tauren Think Tank episode 182 /moo from Jules's butt. Yeah, we sound so professional when we do that. You guys want that so bad too.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Gnome-sized Deathwing.
I
That
like
could work.
gnome-sized Deathwing. That's a good one.
Yeah. What do I do with my show notes? Let's see
No,
here.
heaven from my butt is better than slash move from Jules's butt.
Let's see.
Cat ears. I laughed when I first saw that it did this, and I'm like, okay, well, I can leave it, or I can take it off.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think
you can leave
it's
it.
kind of amusing for people, so I'll just leave it because it's kind of perfect. I've got 2 very cuddly cats around the house, so always remember to stop streaming. Kalani, I might just do that just for you.
Oh yeah, that might have to be it.
It might have to be it. I will do that just for you. He was such a good sport, you guys.
Well, like Spencer said he decided to say something when it started to get closer to not a technical topic.
I'm so glad Spencer said something. Like, I didn't know. I had no clue. And I'm like, man, my brain must have checked out 3 ways from a Sunday because, is this thing still on?
Is this thing still on? Yeah.
Oh, my throat.
And I know both my parents made it to tonight's show as well. I know they're both in here.
Always remember to stop streaming. I think I'll do that one.
Yeah. That one that's pretty good.
I like it.
I dig it.
I dig it. So I'm not sure about Sunday. Do you have stuff going on Sunday earlier? Like,
What?
the reason I'm asking is that Heroes of the Dorm finals start at 7:00
Next Saturday?
next
Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
It's the 10th. I don't think so. I don't think we're doing anything. I mean, I'm pretty free on Sundays right now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This potential job will have me working like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays if I get it.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then the same schedule Monday through Thursday.
But then you
So-
have to work Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday mornings anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's
let's talk
if I-
because I really want to see those finals.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do it earlier in the afternoon on Sunday.
Yeah, we could do it. What would you want to do it at 5 Central? That way
do
we're
it at
kind of
5.
out about 7.
Yeah, we could do it at 5. If that works for you. If it, do you need to check with the fam?
Yeah, I'll check. I'll check with them tonight and see. It should be okay. But yeah, and yeah, Grendagus, it would be every Sunday because what it is it's still a merchandising job with the company, but I would be taking on price changes for the products, and every Sunday we get a new sales ad. So every Sunday morning before we open, you have to retag the entire store for all the price changes and everything.
God, I hated that when I worked at the furniture store. When a new promo started and tagging the entire store was such a nightmare. Oh,
Yeah.
every single piece of furniture needed to have the percentage tag removed and the new one put in, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I'm getting
So,
my
yeah.
hair redone on Wednesday. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, you can see it better here, this side. So the way that I've been doing this is that underneath is all blonde, and then it kind of comes through under the red, brownish red. And I've been doing that for probably about 2-3 months now. And every time he seems to bring it up just a little bit higher. So the blonde, let's see if you can see this.
Yeah, I can kind of. Well, I can see it on
So
my
it
camera.
comes underneath and goes all the way up to like here. You can see it there.
Yeah,
and,
above your eye, above your ears.
Yeah, so it's actually above my ears now, where it used to just be underneath completely and not coming up there. So I'm not sure. Like every time it changes because it seems to go up a little higher, and so, yeah, I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna do it this time. But I've been so digging like that kind of peekaboo blonde that's coming through. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. I've been enjoying it.
I wish I could do something cool with my hair, but I can't think of anything. Like it's either cut or it's not cut.
You'd have to grow it out, like grow out the top of it and be able to do that kind of thing. Oh God, I would look terrible as a complete blonde. I'm too dark. My eyes are too dark and my eyebrow. I'd have to dye my eyebrows and ugh. So
Wear contacts so you get the contacts with a different eye color in there.
I haven't worn contacts in forever. I just don't think I would look good as a blonde, but it's nice to have it underneath, like as a peak. So
Yeah.
I just don't think I'd look good as a blonde. I wore a wig once that was like, ooh, that's not good. I had to do it for Halloween, and it's like, ooh, it's so bad. Yeah. So there. That's our show, my friends.
Oh, and my mom texted me a picture while we were doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
She actually got the little paw print in of Harley.
Oh, it's already come in, huh?
Yeah, she sent it to me. Let's see if I can get it up there.
It's hard to. Oh, I can kind of see it. Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Adorable. Oh, that's awesome. Will you keep that, or will she keep it there?
I'm not sure yet. I would. I don't know. It's one of those things where he was my guy, but he lived with them, and they took real good care of him.
Yeah, they did.
And he was never wanting for love. Mm-hmm. No animal at my mom's house is ever wanting for love.
It's the best thing you could ever want for an animal, to know that they have so much love and affection, that they lived an excellent life,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lived a good one. There was one story where at the time, well, my nephew, he's 9.5. Well, my sister at the time was married to a military guy, and he was in I can't remember what fort it is in Kansas.
Uh-huh.
But so my sister was there, and she was about ready to pop, and I was at college, and when she got the call late at night saying, it's time, the baby's coming, and so my mom was going to leave and be there when her grandson was born. Well, Harley ran out of the house, and she didn't have time to catch him, so she left, and she called me and said, Harley is outside somewhere. He wouldn't come back. I don't know where he is. I don't know. And so I booked it back. I drove the hour back home. I searched for him all night. I slept a little bit and then searched the whole day, and I never found him.
Wow.
And then almost 2 months later, I was there at the house, and I just had a feeling something was going on. I just had a feeling, and I walked outside, and I walked across the street, around the neighborhood. It was late at night, and it was real dark, and I heard something moving in the bushes in the neighbor's house, by the neighbor's house. And so I was walking slowly over there, and I heard the bushes rustle, and I kind of knelt down by the bushes, couldn't see anything, and I just started talking very calmly and very softly, and I could tell it was coming closer, and I kind of reached out my hands, and I felt the fur, and I could tell it was a cat, and then I grabbed it, and then I ran inside the house because I still couldn't see.
Yeah.
Ran inside the house, kicked open the door, ran into my bedroom, and threw him on the ground. And I was on the edge of just hysterical tears, and I just asked my mom if it was him. It was him.
Wow.
He was there, and he was about a third of the weight that he was at his healthy weight, because this was an 18-pound cat.
Yeah.
18 pounds of muscle. Big dude. And he had lost about 8 or 9 pounds, and it was him. And my mom has the picture of me holding him. He looks fine, looks a little thin, but I look like somebody punched me in the face, because my face is all red and I'm crying because I had lost my buddy for 2 months.
Yes. Oh my.
I didn't know where he was, and I was freaking out, but he was there. And he
Wow.
came. I was able to bring him back home.
That's great. I had no idea he had actually gotten out and gotten
Mhm.
lost.
Yeah, look, for
Wow.
2 months he was. It's my mom's house, set of train tracks, rice fields for like 50 miles. And so there, I did not know where he was at all. And it drove me bananas for 2 months that I couldn't find him. I'm just happy I found him.
Yes. Oh man.
And so he's we decided to put him right underneath my old bedroom window because he liked to get in the window and look outside. So that's where we decided to leave him. So that's where he's at, right next to Putty Tat and Tinkerbell.
Aww. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I think that is our cue to get out of here and let me start posting the show. So,
sounds good.
You guys, thanks for being here, having a wonderful time with us in the chat room as always.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for being here.
I'm not going to forget to turn the stream off. So
get a bunch of B-roll of me picking my nose and stretching and taking a drink and coughing and
scratching your butt. Yeah, so we'll be back next week. We might actually push the show up earlier to get around Heroes of the Dorm, but we will let you guys know via Twitter and all the great stuff in Discord and all those things. Love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Yes, we will. Y'all have a great night and a great week. Slash moo.
Slash moo.